spot on. Gen X women are essentially women that were born between the years of 1965 and 1980, and we're seeing that in this age group, women, as opposed to their predecessors, have much more on their plates. Many of them are getting married much later in life, so hence have younger kids at home, often don't have, a good social network or care partner at home. Are expected to be equal in terms of breadwinners or, in terms of bringing an incentive and income to the family, and also are really playing the mass majority of role of caregivers for elderly parents and spouses and things like that. So as a whole, I think there is so much that these Gen X women are facing, and really that manifests in sleep, and essentially sleep fragmentation and poor sleep and just anxiety throughout the night.
And for those of us who aren't sure, just how important is sleep when it comes to success?
So sleep is probably one of the most important things from a neurological perspective that one can do to ensure success, both physically and mentally, and as well as emotionally. So it really is a mainstay or a crux. If someone is not sleeping well, they're just not going to be able to perform at their best level.
And so as we look at getting this 8 hours of sleep a night, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting the rest that your body and mind need. How should we balance quantity versus quality?
Absolutely. So sleep is really a mixture of, as you mentioned, quantity. About 7 to 8 hours a night is recommended, but also the quality of sleep. Are we getting that deep, restful, restorative sleep? And so it really is important to be able to quantify not just the quantity of sleep, but also quality. And so hence, many of the new innovations that are being targeted right now are really all about measuring data and the quality of sleep. So these are very important breakthroughs.
Now, in some industries, not sleeping is almost worn as a badge of honor to show how productive a person is. But what impact is the lack of sleep having on our lives while we're awake?
Right. So I think, and hopefully we are gearing away from that mentality. Everyone needs sleep, no matter where you are in life, what age, what level you're at. It really is very imperative. And I think this is why more and more companies are going forth to promote better sleep habits and hygiene and adaptability techniques for their employees, because it really is important. No one can really do their best on a poor quantity or quality of sleep. We have enough data to support that.
Now, it's interesting because in countries like Spain, you have things like siesta to help you get some afternoon rest. How do perceptions about sleep and rest vary by different cultures around the world?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a very good point. So, the more restful a society is, the more they're going to do in terms of growth and economic growth and really just in general happiness. Some of the Asian companies, for example, Japan and Singapore, equate very poor levels of sleep, 6 hours and less. And some of the more other countries, including Denmark and Great Britain and Australia, have much more higher levels of sleep. So there is really definitely kind of a different relationship and cultural relationship to sleep in many different cultures. But I think across the board, sleep deprivation is a global epidemic. There is really no country that I believe is getting the most in terms of quality and quantity of sleep. And we have to have this discussion because it really is a huge factor, not just for now, but for how people do and societies do in the future.
So how did we get to this point? Because I can't remember the last person I spoke to who actually felt well rested unless they had just come back from a vacation.
Exactly. Well, I think this is really where we need to have the discussion. We need more innovation. We need more data. We need to really be open about sleep. I don't think this is a topic that's really talked about. We're not really educated about it. And in this day and age, when we have, our phones and smartphones and other devices, it's very easy to limit our sleep just because we can always be on. But I think from a neurological perspective, we really have to go back and really see that evolutionarily, sleep is intrinsic, it's crucial. It is one of the most important things that one can do just to stay well.
We've certainly seen Amazon's Jeff Bezos touting the value of getting a full night's rest. You have Bill Gates known for taking these think weeks to really unplug and refresh. But for those of us who aren't billionaires or aren't the boss, what's the best way to raise awareness and manage better sleep habits across the board?
Well, I think it has to start within us. We have to be as forthcoming as we can about how our sleep is in terms of quantity and quality. I'm a big believer in something called sleep hygiene, which is trying to really modify behavior around sleep, trying to go to bed at the same time every night, nice and cool, dark room, no TV, and really just some sort of relaxation techniques prior to bedtime. And if we're not getting that sleep, do not be afraid to ask for help. I mean, luckily we're in a society where there are a lot of specialists and are is a lot of education on sleep. And I think as a whole, this should not be something that's brushed under the rug. Sleep is really who you are, and you cannot be your best if you're not sleeping well.